Hey guys, it is so good to join with you again on our third week of Dinner Devos. I'm Pastor Ryan and we're diving into Luke chapter 9 verse 20 as we explore Jesus is the way in our Dinner Devo series. And I hope hopefully you guys have been growing and learning together as a family. So in Luke chapter 9 verse 20, Jesus says, "But what about you?" He's asking Peter this question. He says, "What about you? Who do you say that I am?" And Peter, he answers, "You are the Christ of God." Think back for a moment to like little kid day, right? For the parents, it's a little bit further ago, but for all of us, it's a little bit in our history of being that little kid that got up, grabbed our bowl of cereal filled with sugar, and like watch some morning cartoons or whatever that was, but eventually like you were ready for adventure. I mean, your imagination ran wild. You could be like royalty, or you could be that spy who was trying to uncover things in your neighborhood. I mean, when you stepped outdoors, the adventure was on, right? And you could be an astronaut discovering a planet that's never been seen before. You could be a cowboy riding a horse faster than anybody's ever ridden a horse. The imagination thing is like not a problem at all when we're a kid, right? And hopefully you still have an imagination, but think about like how easy it really was to step into that imagination as a kid. I mean, for me, adventuring with my friends was such an easy thing. Adventuring on my own and imagining something amazing happening. That first step was so easy. But the problem is, as we get older and older, first steps become like a way bigger thing. And sure, maybe there's more at stake, right? Maybe there's more at stake that makes our first steps really difficult. But we're really invited to take our first step with Jesus. And we can do so with like this childlike faith, one that's willing to say the same thing that Peter says to Jesus when asked, "Who do you say that I am?" And so as we're just kind of wrapping up, looking at how Peter responds to Jesus, let's just consider, how would we answer that question? How would the way that we live reflect us believing that Jesus, in fact, is the Christ? He is our Savior. He is the way. How would we answer that with our words when asked? Are there people who would be afraid to say that to? Are there ways or parts of our lives that would make it really difficult to say, "I know that you, Jesus, are the Christ, the Savior, the one that I am invited to put my trust into"? Why can we sometimes become less adventurous as we get older? I mean, can you resonate with that? What makes it harder to take risks? The next kind of question that we have to consider is, who do you say that Jesus is? And now, what can be difficult about taking the first steps towards a journey with Christ? And then the last thing is, take a second, everybody grab a piece of paper, and take a second to proclaim who Jesus is to you. Who do you say He is? Confess things that maybe stand in the way of you declaring that He is your Savior. And if you've never taken that step, would you be willing to talk to your family right now and say, how could I take that first step to put my trust in Jesus? Don't let this moment pass you by. Have that adventurous, childlike faith where you're willing to take that first step and say yes to Jesus. Thank you guys so much. I am so grateful for all of the opportunities we have to gather and to worship together. I hope you have a great night.